guys, it's Caitlin and welcome back to my channel. I have been very inactive here on YouTube lately and I completely apologize for that. I've just been focusing a lot more on school and stuff like that. I don't know, I've just kind of put YouTube on the back burner lately, but don't worry, summer is coming up and I'm gonna be posting a lot more and like vlogging a lot throughout the summer. I'm going on some exciting little trips and I can't wait to share that with you guys. Today's video is actually summer related. It is for all my book lovers like me out there. I'm gonna give you guys some recommendations for books to add to your summer reading list and also sharing with you guys some books that I'm hoping to read this summer. The first half will be all my recommendations for you guys. It'll be a lot more in depth, and then the second half will be a little quicker, just me listing and saying a little bit about each of the books that I hope to read throughout the months of June, July, and August. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and leave me a comment down below. Without further ado, let's just get into my recommendations first. So my first category of recommendations is going to be young adult summer romance. So the first book I'm going to be talking about is Alex Approximately by Jen Bennett. So this book is kind of like the little pen pal trope, if you know what I'm talking about, where like two people talk online, chatting, and then get to know each other. Basically, we follow this girl named Bailey and she's like obsessed with classic movies, and she's spending the summer in California with her father, and there she gets a job at a museum, and there's a really annoying coworker guy who she kind of just like argues and bickers with, and as she's having this little adventure in California, she knows that her little pen pal online, his name is Alex, and she's like gathering clues about him, trying to see if he's like somewhere near there, if she can find him and meet him in person. And yeah, that's a little bit about this book. There's a dog barking outside. So some things that I like about this book are like the summer vibes. Everything is there. California, I'm actually going to California this summer, so if you are too, this would be perfect. The museum setting was like a really fun little subplot. Like, I don't know, I just thought it was a really like interesting. I don't know, and there's just like one scene where they get like locked in the museum and it's so cute. I really liked the coworker at the museum, Porter is his name. And yeah, I think this is the perfect book to read in the summer by the pool. Look at that cover. It's literally a girl sitting in the pool watching a movie and eating an ice cream bar. I totally recommend this one and it was a great time to read. Next book I'm sure we have all heard of. It's The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. If you are somehow unaware, this got made into a really good and popular TV show last year, and the second season is coming out so soon. I cannot wait. It's just so good. Anyways, Summer I Turned Pretty is a trilogy. I have the other books right here, but honestly, if I'm being like completely honest, I only really recommend and enjoyed the first one. But they're all really quick and super easy reads. Like, the text is pretty big and spaced out, and it just reads really fast paced. It's young adult. So the plot of this first book, I won't go into the other two because they're a little different and they get really sad, but yeah, the first book follows a 16-year-old girl named Belly who has grown up spending her summers at a beach house with her mom, her brother, her mom's best friend, and the mom's best friend's two sons, Jeremiah and Conrad. And there we find ourselves with a little love triangle. And let me know what team you guys are. I'm team Belly, like, should be single. This is a very fun book and it just follows this love triangle, and we get flashbacks from like when they were younger, growing up, all these cute little scenes of them doing all this fun summer stuff. Like, they go swimming, bonfires, parties, go-karting, riding bikes, going to the pier, going to carnivals. It is just like everything. It's so nostalgic, such fun characters to follow, and as I mentioned before, the TV show adaptation is just great. The soundtrack, everything, the actors, it is just like the perfect adaptation and everything you would want in a fun summer read. But the second book and the third book, we're not going to talk about those. Just read the first one and then watch the show if you want to. Next book is Today, Tonight, Tomorrow by Rachel Lynn Solomon. This isn't exactly like a summery beachy read like the other ones that I just mentioned. This is more like it's set on the last day of school, and we follow Neil and Rowan, who are academic rivals. It has the academic rivals to lovers trope, which I'm a sucker for. But yeah, it takes place on the last day of school, so perfect to read around this time of year as school is ending. Their grade is playing like senior assassin basically, and it's really fun. They are like the valedictorian and salutatorian, so everyone is targeting them, and they kind of have to team up to, you know, survive this fun game of assassin. It's also like a scavenger hunt mixed in, sort of, and it's very fun. I love the scavenger hunt game they were going on. The characters have such great banter with each other because they're academic rivals and they both want to be like valedictorian in the beginning. If you like that trope like I do, you should definitely read this book. It's like the academic rivals to lovers book. I feel like everyone talks about it for that, but I highly, highly recommend this book. It's one of my favorite young adult romances. The next book I have is Heartbones by Colleen Hoover. I'm sure you guys have all heard about Colleen Hoover. Her books are everywhere. It's insane. But this is a young adult one. So we follow this girl named Bea who comes from a life of poverty, as the back says, and then she is spending summer with her father. Kind of sensing a theme with these books. They all, like, the girl travels to stay with her dad. But anyways, her dad is like really rich, but she's always lived with her mom, and her mom passes away in like the first chapter, so she goes to live with her dad, and he lives in this huge mansion with his new wife and the stepdaughter, and she kind of joins the stepdaughter's group of friends because she's around her age, and in that friend group there is a boy named Samson. He also happens to be the next door neighbor in this big nice beach house mansion type of thing, and they find out that they have more in common than they thought. They get to know each other, and it's really, really cute. I love this cover so much. This is one of my favorite Colleen Hoover books. This is really random, but I love the names Bea and Samson. I don't know, I just really like those names. And there's also sort of like a little plot twist at the end of this book that I did not see coming, and a lot of other people didn't see coming either, and it was just a really great read. Highly recommend. Next, we have none other than Better Than the Movies. This is like the YA rom-com. Everybody's heard of this book. A lot of people have read it. I'm a little late to the bandwagon. I just read it last month and I absolutely loved it. This is perfect for any season, honestly, and I'm just using this video as an excuse to rave about it. But yeah, Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter follows a girl named Liz who is like obsessed with rom-coms, movies. Her and her mom, who unfortunately passed away, bonded over their love for romantic comedy movies, and she just is a hopeless romantic like all of us, and she wants to experience a high school love story. And when her childhood friend moves back to town, she thinks this is the perfect opportunity to, you know, have her high school romance, dancing under the stars, going to prom, all that stuff that she's dreamed about and seen in movies and in books. And the only way she can get to him is by making this little alliance with her neighbor, who is kind of like not really an enemy, but they don't get along. They bicker, they argue, they fight over this parking spot on their street, and he helps her get with the guy she really likes, Michael, her childhood crush. But as time goes on, they sort of start to bond, and she's like, I'm never gonna get Michael, so she starts to get a little crush on Wes, the neighbor, and it's just, it literally feels like you're watching a classic romantic comedy on screen, but it's longer and it's in a book form. There's lots of pop culture references that I absolutely love. I literally annotated this book. You can't really tell that well, but I did annotate it, and there's just like a lot of references that I love, like movies. There's a Hamilton reference, lots of Taylor Swift, just everything that I adore. There's that. There's a playlist in the back of the book. If you like books with playlists, you'll really like this one. Wes Bennett is like the book boyfriend. He is so cute and so respectful and so kind and so funny, and I'm not going to shut up about him anytime soon. And if you go on Pinterest and search Better Than the Movies aesthetic, it will convince you to read this book because the aesthetic alone is just so cute. So the next book is Summer of Broken Rules. This one follows a girl named Meredith whose sister passed away, and she is going to Martha's Vineyard for the first time without her sister, which is really sad. So it deals with topics of grief, kind of like Better Than the Movies. And Meredith's aunt, I believe, is getting married, and so all these relatives, family, friends, groomsmen, bridesmaids, they're all on this island, and they are playing a game of assassin. So like water guns and like getting people out and stuff, and she forms an alliance with someone from the groom's side, like a groomsman, and they just like work together, team up to try to get their targets out. And over time, it turns into a little bit of a summer fling, which is really cute. This book is really fun. It also has Taylor Swift references that I love, like very, very much like intentional references. Like there's this one part, I'm not going to spoil it, but it's a very significant part and it has to do with the Taylor Swift song, and I thought that was so clever. The setting being on Martha's Vineyard was like really cool to read about because they were like referencing real places on Martha's Vineyard. I've personally never been, but I would love to go just based on reading this book. It seems like such a fun place to go on vacation. The Game of Assassin was really fun, and it was just a great book. The wedding aesthetic, the island aesthetic, the summer aesthetic. I say that word a lot, I'm sorry. But this was a great read, and I kind of wish I had a physical copy. Those were actually all the young adult romances that I have to recommend for you guys this summer, but I also have an adult romance, and that is the Honeymooners by Christina Lauren. This book follows Olive and Ethan, and their siblings get married. So the beginning starts off with them at the wedding, and then out of nowhere, everyone starts like throwing up, which as someone with like a bit of emetophobia, that part really grossed me out. So if you have that too, maybe skip a few pages. So all these people are getting sick and they're like, what the heck is happening? And then they realize they've been food poisoned. And the only people who did not eat the buffet food were Olive and Ethan, the groom and bride's siblings. And the honeymoon is already paid for it. Whatever will they do? Well, Olive and Ethan take this opportunity to go on the honeymoon themselves. Their siblings insist, like, they already paid for it, there's no harm, they have, someone has to go. So they go. But the only problem is Olive and Ethan do not like each other. It's a bit of a dumb reason that they don't like each other, but they don't. They, in fact, despise each other. And they have to like share a hotel room, go on the plane together, do all these coupley things because they're pretending to be the actual bride and groom. So they're like fake dating, fake like identities, and it's really interesting and very fun to follow them along going on these like cute little dates. I think this is the perfect summer read. The first like 75% I really loved, and it was like a 5-star read. Up until the very end, there was just this like subplot that they added in that I didn't really enjoy. But other than that, it was a great book. You can't tell already from this video, I love vibes and aesthetics, and I think this book has the perfect one for summer. So if you're not like a just general romance reader and you prefer a bit of fantasy, I have a fantasy romance recommendation for you, and that would be Daughter of the Pirate King by Trista Levenseller. I love this author. Daughter of the Pirate King follows this girl named Alosa, and she is, if you couldn't guess, she's the daughter of the Pirate King. Slay her, major slay. And she purposely allows herself to get captured by this enemy crew of pirates, and they're like all men. Her crew is like all women. Love that for her. So she gets captured and like thrown in the cell below decks, but little do her captors know that she meant to get captured because she's on the hunt for this secret piece of like a treasure map, I believe, something like that. Yeah, like an ancient hidden map. And she like tries to like sway these men to like let her out of her thing and like sneak out and like pick the locks and stuff. She's just trying to get on the ship so she can find her thing and then leave. But she gets a little bit distracted when she finds herself intrigued by the first mate, Ryden, and they have a little enemies to lovers thing going on. I won't say too much, but they're really cute and they have great tension and banter and all that stuff that I love in a romance or a fantasy romance like this one. And this is a duology, so it's not a huge commitment. You can definitely try to read it this summer. If you love like movies like Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff like that, I think you would definitely love the vibes of this. And our main character, Alosa, is so cool. She is like such a baddie. I aspire to be like her. So that concludes the recommendation portion of this video. Now I'm going to get into the books I want to read personally this summer. I'm still going to section them off by genre. So starting off with romance, some young adult, some adult, I'll specify once I list them all. But for starters, Emily Henry books. How have I not read these, you may be asking? I don't know. I don't know, guys. I need to read them. Beach read and People We Meet on Vacation. Such popular books. Everybody and their mother has read them. They're just like the summer books. Like, you can't tell me that you can read these anywhere other than on the beach or by the pool, because that doesn't feel right. I have to take these on vacation with me this summer, but which one do I take? People We Meet on Vacation or beach read? Or both? I simply don't know, but I will definitely be reading them this summer because I've heard great things. They both have movie deals, and they just sound very, very good. Next up is a series. It is a trilogy, and I don't know if it has a name, but I'm just gonna call it the Love and Gelato series because that's the name of the first book. So I'm pretty sure these are all just like little young adult romances like that take place in different countries, where like the main character travels to a country and falls in love. We have Love and Gelato, which obviously is Italy, Love and Luck, which I believe is Ireland, and Love and Olives, which is in Greece. I also heard that the first one got made into a Netflix movie, but most people are saying it's not that good, so I don't know if I'll watch it, but I definitely do want to read all 3 of these books. I think it'll be fun. Alright, next up I have Breathless by Jennifer Niven. She is the author of All the Bright Places, one of my favorite books. That book made me sob, and I don't know if this one is supposed to be sad or not, but it definitely looks summery because like the front, they're like swimming. I don't know. I don't really know what it's about, but thought I'd throw it in here. Next we have Since You've Been Gone. Since You've Been Gone. Sorry, I couldn't resist. But this one is by Morgan Matson, and I believe she has like a lot of summer books, but this one I think is about a girl like completing a summer bucket list. That sounds really fun. This is the bucket list that she's trying to complete, so I'm assuming it's just us following her as she goes through and tries to do all these things, and that sounds very fun, and I'm sure she finds love in the process. So this one isn't exactly like a romance. I think it falls more into the literary fiction category, but I'm just gonna throw it in here. 7 Days in June. Do I just want to read this in the summer because it has the word June in the title? Possibly, but it seems like it'd be good for the summer. It's a Reese's Book Club pick, and I've read a couple of the Reese Book Club books and I enjoyed them, and it just seems cute. It went viral like a couple months ago on YouTube and TikTok and everything, and all the girlies were reading it, and I think it's time, guys. I found this for $1 at a like book sale. I think it's a sign that I need to get on this book. And lastly, I do have one mystery that I want to mention. I know I haven't really talked about any mysteries in this video, but this one just simply has to be read in the summer. It's The Lake by Natasha Preston, and it takes place at a summer camp, which is really funny because I'm going to summer camp this summer. It's a murder mystery, so hopefully, you know, my camp experience doesn't turn out like this, but I love Natasha Preston's books. I read The Fear by her. I read The Cabin. No, not The Cabin, sorry, The Cellar. I have The Cabin. And yeah, I hope I like it because it has some potential. I think she has a potential to be like my favorite author because I just eat up her books. Like, they read so quickly and fast-paced. Those are actually all the books I'm going to be talking about today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got at least 1 or 2 recommendations, ideally more, but you know, we all have different taste, but hopefully at least a couple of these books appealed to you and you added them to your want to read list on Goodreads or wrote them down in your notes or whatever it is that you keep track of books you want to read. Please read one of these books this summer and we can talk about it together, whether I've read it yet or not. And thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Can't wait to start posting more actively in the summer, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!